All right, MMA Maniacs, it is time once again for Split Decision, your weekly MMA podcast brought to you out of the KOA studios. Our last show of 2013 as we welcome in the new year and, of course, ring in the last UFC of 2013 as well. Big thanks to our sponsor, Knockout Artist Clothing. Check them out at officialkoa.com as well as on Facebook and Fight Fans Radio Network. Get them on Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and their iTunes account. And last but definitely not least, our official website, SplitDecisionMMA.com. I'm Bueller and Dodge here as well. He's got the news, and I just talk a bunch of shit. Let's roll.
We have 3 fighters been cut from the UFC: Rosie Sexton, Alessio Sarkara, and George Soteropoulos.
Were they just going through the S's alphabetically?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I'm bummed out about Alessio Sarkara.
He's lost his last 4.
I know he's lost his last 4.
And so has G-Sot.
But I feel like he could come back.
Just because he's your countryman?
Because he's the only Italian in the UFC. And then George Soteropoulos, that bums me out too. But I mean, how can you go on a 4-fight skid?
Yeah.
You know, it's a bummer to lose both those guys, but at the same time, they're not doing anything. The thing is here, if they ever do a fight in Italy, Alessio Sarkara will be there.
He'll be there.
Guaranteed. And
well, I don't know. They keep doing fights in Chicago, and they don't let Shoney Cardi back on the card. Even though he shows up in his pimp suit and demands a fight.
It's right there at the parking lot. Just shows up with
always does.
With his goblet
And his cane and his stupid hat.
I want to fight someone.
All whites. Come on, Dana, give me a fight.
And G-Sots will fight in any New Zealand card or Australian card. So
yeah.
they're cut, but let's be realistic here. They're not cut. Okay.
For a second, I was a little confused because I thought G-Sots was the Tough Nations Australia coach, and then I remember it's Kingsbury.
That would be confusing.
So we have Gastelum is going to get a new fight. He's now going to be fighting Rick Story. That's a pretty tough fight for him.
That's a very tough fight for him. But it gives Rick Story a nice tune-up fight, too.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, I think gives Gastelum a big test in the cage. I mean, obviously, like I said, he took away the hype that was Uriah Hall.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do about that? Uriah Hall's got his fight or die match coming up soon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, come to find out that the man versus woman fight that was going down in Chuto, Brazil, was just a big sham.
This pisses me off.
I wonder how many fights do you think this started in households and around the water coolers?
Well, it was done to bring awareness to domestic violence.
Yes, and Brazil. That's why they decided to announce it, because
I'm just saying, if you can't hit women in Brazil anymore, then I don't want to go.
Well, I'm just saying, there had to have been at least one break room where like Pam was like, "Well, I'll slap the shit out of you, Bill." And Bill's like, "What? Bitch, please."
It'd be like that Army versus Marine fight where the chick said she was I think she was a Marine. She said she could beat any Army man on the base.
Yeah,
so they set up a boxing match and the guy beat the shit out of her.
And still, he was an asshole.
Sure. Still, he was an asshole. That's the problem with that fight. What does that guy get by winning? Nothing. He's a dick for beating up a chick. And if he loses, it's a get out of Brazil match. If you lose to a woman in Brazil, you have to leave your country or become one.
Right, but
which is pretty normal in Brazil anyway.
So we were told by someone who's trying to bring awareness that men are assholes.
Pretty much. So we have Roxanne Modafferi's book is going to be published by Burning Horse Media.
She's a clever cover. I like the title.
Memoirs of a Happy Warrior.
I like the trophy she's holding. It looks like a giant butt plug.
Was she Blossom?
Somebody else said that too when we were watching the show.
Was she Blossom?
Oh, God.
So it's the adventures of a Japanese language student turned MMA champion.
I honestly thought that was like a teenage boy. No joke. You guys
oh, no, she looks exactly like my friend Mark Vieira. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding even a little tiny bit. And Mark Vieira, when he was like a teenager, he looked like he was the NAMBLA poster boy. So
don't Google that.
You could totally Google that, but you'll have somebody at your door in 30 minutes.
The Coroner has released Shane Del Rosario's cause of death.
Catastrophic cardiovascular failure. Is that what it said?
There we go, right here. And you want to pronounce both of those?
Anoxic encephalopathy.
And
there we go. Ventricular fibrillation.
And
long QT.
Yep. Long QT syndrome.
Long QT syndrome.
But he also had cocaine, opiates, and THC in his body.
Oh.
Well, that doesn't help too much. I never understood people that did cocaine and weed at the same time.
Hey.
I'm saying I don't understand it.
But the amount of drugs is unknown. So,
well, he's a big dude. He needs a lot of drugs. It's like a horse tranquilizer.
It could have been nothing.
No, I never smoked a cabbie. You know what they're called? Cocaine and weed at the same time.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's called a Cocoa Puff.
No, I've seen Flight. That's a lie. I've seen Flight. The Cocoa Puff is when you put the cocaine in the tip of the cigarette. That's what they said on Flight.
I love it. Silly Caucasian.
Cole Miller has decided he will never fight in Massachusetts again.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because he lost the decision to Manny Gambirian.
Oh, okay.
And he's very upset.
I wouldn't fight there just because it's the East Coast.
So now that Dana White's opened up the door, people think that they can blame each individual state now?
Yes.
Yep.
It's not going to be too long until fighters start asking to bring their own judges. You're gonna have like each fighter gets to bring their own judge, and then you have a third independent judge. That's how every fight's going to go soon.
I think, again, I like Forrest Griffin's idea. We're just going to give him the tapes. He's going to watch the fight. Come
Yeah.
back on the next day
Come
on
back
Sunday.
Nobody will
morning.
know until Sunday who won.
If he remembers.
I like our idea the best, where you just had a vote button at your seat.
Yeah.
That's still where I want to roll.
Roy Jones Jr. wants to box Anderson Silva. No surprise. I've been talking about it for a long time. But he now wants to fight him in Russia.
It doesn't make any sense to me at
I
all.
don't understand why Russia.
Has anybody in Russia ever even seen a Brazilian?
He says
what I wonder.
he really, really
I think there's about a Brazilian
loves
Russian.
Russia, and it
So
depends where the
there's
best offer comes from, but he feels that Russia's going to offer him the best amount of money to host the fight.
Really?
How is it that money? Russia don't have money for anything else, but they have money for fights.
They got the Klitschko's. They like boxing.
They got money for vodka, and they got money for fights,
And they import meteorites.
and they crap on the street. I've seen that online. It happens.
You've seen a lot of things online.
It happens up in
sir.
San Francisco, too, though. That ain't too far from here
It's
either.
actually true.
So the UFC Fight Pass digital network in beta right now is $9.99 a month, which is not bad because a lot of people were thinking it's going to be like $60 a month.
Right.
And it's never going to go up.
Yeah, don't say that. Right now it's $9.99 a month. They're already saying that most of the international cards will be on this network. A lot of them, there are going to be fights that you can only get on this network.
Now, okay, so can we get this and write it off as a business expense?
I'm hoping so.
Awesome. That's a beautiful thing. That's $120 a year, and you're gonna have to get this on top of your UFC pay-per-views.
Yes.
For the exclusive content.
Yes, that starts with UFC Fight Night 34, which is going down January 4th out of Singapore. Will
Is it
only
only-
be on the new online network.
See, now I'm already pissed about it. I'm already mad.
First fight of the year, you can't even watch it
Yep.
unless we buy a subscription.
Here, take my money, Dana. Take my money.
He needs it. He is building snow forts in his front yard as we speak in Vegas.
I just like the term he's got. Bring snow to Las Vegas money.
Yeah.
Never gonna have that kind of money in my life.
It was 63 degrees Christmas morning. He imported snow to his driveway so his kids can go sledding.
Dude, we got Sonora like an hour north, and I still couldn't afford to get snow and bring it back down here.
Or take your kids to Sonora to go see the snow.
Nope, couldn't do that
Sorry,
either.
I don't got enough gas. We're not going. It's not going to happen. Someone else who's got some money is Ronda Rousey's corner. They decided to bet on her. Her whole corner bet on her. They got mad because they said the odds it's basically 20 grand to win 5.
That sucks.
Yeah. But they're so confident in her, they put down 20 grand.
Well, then maybe she should start losing.
And get her odds up.
Change her odds a little bit.
I have the odds actually for the fight. We'll get to that when we do the breakdown for the two main events. Gil Melendez is going to be fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Can we just have a serious podcast for once, guys, please?
That'll be going down to UFC 170, where the main event is Daniel Cormier against Rashad Evans. How do you think this fight's going to go down, Gil Melendez and Nurmagomedov?
I want Gilbert Melendez to win.
I think
I want him to have to fight Nate.
Man bear pig.
it's a different weight class, sir.
It's a way different weight class.
But I'm excited because Nurmagomedov is the one that always wears the afro hat. The
Okay.
sheepskin. I think he should just wear it into the cage, and then Gil Melendez has his own
Has
little
his afro hair. Yeah.
Be pretty interesting.
I think Man Bear Pig could eat both these guys.
So nothing else? No, don't like that fight.
No, I think Melendez is probably going to win that fight. I really do. I think if he does win that fight, it's going to be great to see him move up the rankings.
You don't
too.
think the judo and the wrestling that Nurmagomedov has
No.
be able to stack up against
No.
Melendez's?
Melendez.
Melendez's hands?
I don't think he has a chance against Melendez.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Melendez's upper body, and I just think he has more strength.
obviously he has a good chance, but I still think that Melendez's wrestling and hands are going to outwork him.
So Ben Askren is still talking crap about Dana White. He said the only reason why he's not has his chance in the UFC is because of a bald-headed fat man.
He just needs to shut up.
Chose not to let him in.
If he would just shut up for a couple months, then Daniel would put him on like a tough show or something. If he would just shut his mouth
He's
for a
got
little
his
bit.
2-year agreement with ONE FC.
He doesn't want to be there.
Apparently he did. He took the money.
He wants to go somewhere where he's going to get paid.
When's he going to fight?
They have not announced that either.
You either go to ONE FC, the only place that'll sign you for whatever amount of money that they're going to sign you for, or you go to wrestling tournaments like he was doing, and just do exhibition matches for free. What are you going to do?
There we go.
Craigslist.
we got to set this up, man. How many times have we tried to get fighters fights?
Fighters seeking fighters.
Fighters seeking fighters.
Love it.
Ronda Rousey was recently on Jim Rome. They were talking about her theory of why Miesha Tate actually got this title shot, and I think it's pretty sound. I really do. She said this about Miesha Tate. She had an embarrassing and bad performance against Julie Kedzie. She lost and got dropped by an elbow by Kat Zingano. She was getting beat pretty bad, and then Kat hurt her knee. Miesha has a nice ass and an ongoing rivalry with me, and that's the only reason why she was picked for this fight.
It's a pretty solid reason right there. I mean,
Cosign?
I'll co-sign on it all day. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, but seriously, who else are they going to pick for this fight? Like it says down here, the only other undefeated bantamweight is Sarah McMahon. But Sarah McMahon's not going to have the draw that Miesha Tate is. They moved this to the Super Bowl card.
Yeah.
You can't move Ronda Rousey and who to the Super Bowl card. You got to move Ronda Rousey and somebody with a name to the Super Bowl card. So that's another reason why she was probably picked. And why wouldn't you pick the girl who was second to Kat Zingano to coach? And obviously you got to have the coaches' rivalry anyway. So
It's true.
But yes, she does have a nice ass. I would definitely agree with that. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that gif of her ass doing boom, 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 just all day. I could keep that thing on repeat.
What?
You haven't seen the gif?
No.
Oh man, you gotta see the gif,
I
bro.
need to see that.
You gotta see the Miesha Tate ass gif.
Don't put that in Google right now. You're going to crash the system.
I'll put it in my phone. Shit.
I'm surprised you don't have it saved in your phone.
I probably do, man.
Every time it rings. Nos.
Demetrius Johnson said he is open to a super fight against bantamweight champions, either Renan Barão or Dominic Cruz.
We are not having no super fights.
No more super fights.
Do you think that'd be an interesting super fights? I mean, there was a lot to talk about, a lot of different super fights all over the UFC. Are you okay with Demetrius Johnson going back up to 135 to fight either one of those guys?
Why not?
I mean, he already lost to Cruz.
I don't understand how anybody loses to Cruz, but it seems to keep happening. Yeah, why not? Johnson's just fun to watch. Those light guys are all fun to watch. You know what I mean? But like we said before, the super fights can't have belt ramifications on them because you can't type the title for that long.
Of course.
Just can't do it.
So Alden Amagov.
These are not Miesha Tate. That's Miesha Tate.
Was apparently retiring due to religious reasons.
Which was a lie.
Yeah, come to find out, very untrue.
Is that really Miesha Tate?
I just thought it was very interesting that these rumors are going around that a guy was going to quit MMA for religion.
Well, isn't that what Fedor did?
No, because God told him he needs to stop getting beat in the face.
That wasn't God. That was his dermatologist or something.
He needs to stop getting knocked out. Once you lose the skills, man, you got to go.
All right, let's see if it loads. Nope.
Two fighters that have not been cut by the UFC are Nam Phan and Pat Barry after obviously numerous rumors that both of them were going to be cut after their last performances and their last set of losses. Both of them are still on the roster, and even Sean Shelby himself and Joe Silva said that no, both these guys are not cut.
Sorry, I'm watching Miesha Tate's ass bounce around.
All right.
Burp, burp. All right, Nam Phan. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that he's lasted this long in the UFC, but I guess he's been continually getting better. So
relatively, yeah.
Yeah.
Pat Barry, I like the guy a lot, but I thought he was going to get cut after this last fight.
wouldn't have surprised me either.
He's on a 3-fight now, losing.
But he's fun. He's fun to keep in the heavyweight division.
He had a 1-round tirade.
It's true. Shogun has decided not to drop to 185. He wants to stay at 205. He wants to fight Little Nog again.
Wow.
Even though he beat him back in 2005 in the Grand Prix tournament. For some reason, he wants to fight him again.
It's just another fighter saying they're going to do something and then changing their mind.
Well, he never said he was going down to 185. Everybody said they wanted him to go down to 185.
My misunderstanding then.
So, I don't know. Do you think he should stay?
I think it's a bunch of pressure pushed on by everybody talking about dropping weight classes. There's a lot
like
of people.
You lose or you're not doing so
Yeah.
well. It's like you need to drop weight, bro.
Yeah,
And
and that's
you
what I
come
was
out and
saying.
you get a devastating knockout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can stay there.
yeah, but they kept saying you dropped 185. Like 185 is a bunch of suckers.
It is.
From
obviously.
Yeah.
205 to 185 is a good amount of weight, too, for a fighter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why we needed the Rich Franklin catch weight of 195.
195. Rich
Division.
Franklin class.
Rich Franklin division. So, Don Frye recently put this up on around Christmas time with his predictions of basically the main card going down UFC 168 this weekend. I'm not going to play the entire thing. You got to go to our Facebook to listen to the entire thing, especially all his picks. But he's pretty awesome.
It's pretty it's pretty much the one thing you need to check out today.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it.
So we're going to play a little audio from Don Frye.
I'm Don Frye, the Predator, the UFC's 2-time world champion. Back when men were men, not pretty boy champions who dye their hair and, for God's sake, paint their toenails. We'd fight all night long. There are no rules, no weight limits, and no time limits. Tournament fighting. Your reward for winning a fight would be to come back 20 minutes later and fight again. At the end of the night, you can go to the hospital, or you go to the after party, or, if you're tough enough, both. I'd like to welcome all the men and women and boys and girls and the what's and ifs. This is my show, which means I'll call it the way I see it. No sugarcoating and no butt kissing. I'm going to say some things about your favorite fighter that are quite unflattering, and it's going to hurt your little feelings. Grow up. The world's a harsh place. You get through it, maybe, or you get cast aside and stepped on, like the dog shit you are. Now get some beer and get some takeout, and let's get ready for some high-quality violence. Let's call our bookie, play some winning bets, and start counting the money. And one more thing. Family Guy. Will you bring back Brian? Please.
Can we just make that our show intro every week?
Right? I want to have Don Frye come to our show intro
Hell yeah.
every week.
Now, if Don Frye's mustache and...
First of all, we have Don Frye sitting by a... This is like a fireside chat.
Fireside
the
chat.
The entire time he's drinking whiskey and smoking a cigar
Right.
with some hot chick behind him.
We gonna post a link to this?
Is that one of the ring girls?
Huh?
Is that a ring girl?
I think it's his wife, girlfriend. I don't know who that is.
Daughter?
For you, dog.
God bless America. And Don Frye. So yeah, we'll definitely be posting this on the Facebook.
So Dan Severin's mustache and Don Frye's mustache get in a fight. Who wins?
Oh, dude, I got to go with Don Frye's.
Yeah? All right.
Oh, Chuck Norris jumps in and
Especially
kills
with
everybody.
the voice. I mean, he's got the voice, too.
He's got the voice like he's going to die of throat cancer in about 3 years. That's the voice that he
That's
has.
why
No.
they have him play like he was in, what was that?
He's going to be the next diabetes.
I'm Don Frye.
It's pretty awesome in his cowboy hat.
I smoked nothing but cigars since I was 4.
Right?
I want to choke Joey out and throw him on the ground for a second.
Why?
Because we're right here. We're just close. It was kind of intimate.
You're having way too fun being behind me, dude. Imagine you're dating some chick and you go home for the holidays and you get to meet her dad for the first time and it's Don
Don
Frye.
Frye.
Fuck that.
So Anderson Silva wants to enter the 2016 Olympic Games for Taekwondo.
Silva just wants to do everything. He wants to fight Roy Jones. He wants to do Olympics. Surprised he doesn't want to join the wrestling team too. Like I said earlier, what he needs to do is win.
Yeah, he said, I don't think Dana would let me do it because he's like the big dad. We fight all the time. He's like George Bush of MMA.
So George Bush is his dad.
I didn't even understand that analogy at all. Is it just because he's a white dude in control of something?
Pretty much.
Did they just call every white guy in control of stuff George Bush down in Brazil? Oh, he's a George Bush.
I just like that.
Oh, that's awesome. It's not Uncle
Dana White was
Tom.
on.
No, you're such a George Bush.
Dana White was on UFC tonight and was like, "Well, this is the first time I've heard of it." What the But yeah, I don't want him to do Taekwondo. He needs to win fights. He's got enough stuff to do here in the UFC.
Does he even know the rules of Taekwondo?
I don't know.
Like, there's different rules for different martial arts. You can't just.
I don't know.
just
Dana's
because-
more of a Dick Cheney.
He's definitely more of a dick.
Shoot
that's
people
for
in the
sure.
face.
I'm sure Rousey or somebody.
Allegedly.
Big rumor coming up.
Oh God.
Brock Lesnar may be coming back to the UFC.
I seen that. It was like man with a penis tattooed on his chest spotted.
When he jumped up and down before the rounds, they used to blur his chest out
Just like that's porn.
because he was titty fucking himself.
It's like watching bad Baywatch.
So they.
I want to know if he ever went back and beat the shit out of his tattoo artist. I seriously do. I have to imagine if he comes back, I'm going to be Brock Lesnar for Halloween. just I'm going to have somebody draw a big Sharpie dick on my chest. I'm sure you would. Walk around in some Speedos.
Dana White says, I honestly don't know, and then had a large grin like a man who might know more than he wanted to say, and they asked him honestly, and he said, honestly, I don't know.
That's weird because usually this is a situation where Dana White would say, there's absolutely no fucking way that fucking Brock Lesnar is going to come back to the fucking UFC. And then he shows up 3 months later. This is one of those situations usually where Dana White does that. But
Even if he does come back, can he compete anymore, honestly?
We'll see.
I think he can.
I think he still can compete. I don't know if he can necessarily...
I think he can compete. I think he could do great if he would actually train with people that could better him.
Yeah.
That's
I think
the key.
I kind of.
That's the big
He's
key.
like a puzzle that's been figured out. That's how I see it.
I don't think he's a puzzle that's been figured out. I think he was just a one-trick pony that was unwilling to learn anything else.
And I think if he does learn a lot more, he could be definitely champ again, even.
It's entirely possible. I mean, his wrestling is great, but his little rabbit punches, even though they're heavy, they suck.
They look like a lunchbox.
And he knows absolutely nothing about jiu-jitsu. He needs to train. He needs to find people that can make him better, and I think that he could absolutely compete in the UFC again.
So Kat Zagano is still considered the number one contender. She'll be healthy and ready to face whoever wins, Ronda Rousey or Miesha Tate.
Cool.
Dana White saying flat out, there's no way she's losing her number one contendership spot.
So she's going to get back by summer?
Yes.
So she's not like she's healthy now then.
She's healthy-ish.
Healthy-ish.
Her surgery went well. So this is also a little strange. The UFC has decided to announce a special press conference the night of the fight at 6 o'clock. This is something they've never done before. They're going to be announcing something. They're saying it's a big announcement. It could be important. So obviously the rumors are Brock Lesnar's coming back. It could be as shitty as, hey, we're launching our network, our online network. We just want to let you all know that it's official.
That's what I think it's about.
Right before the pay-per-view, they're going to tell everybody, and the only way you can watch this pay-per-view is if you
sign up
subscribe.
No, you can get the pay-per-view free tonight
If you sign up.
if you sign up.
That would piss me off because I'm going to buy it at like 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I'd be hell mad about that.
So, but it's just very interesting. We can watch live right now. This is my favorite. We can watch this live. This is their video feed
They
set
have a
up.
video feed set up.
I think he's going to hold
Oh,
on to
they're
that
just
belt
playing
for quite a
commercials.
while.
Earlier, it was literally a blank set with 3 chairs and
Wow.
played throughout the whole thing. I'm like, and you can see the arena in the background. I'm like,
That's productive.
that's it? This is what I get to watch? Like, for how many hours?
Till tomorrow at 6 p.m.
How long did it keep you there?
About 5 minutes.
Yeah, but the thing is that Dodge is going to be on it tomorrow afternoon at like 4 p.m. trying to see if he can see anything early.
Who's coming in?
Who's coming in?
A penis just walked by. It was Brock Lesnar's shirt off.
Just use his
What if he had asked for like Mr. Peanut? And then he drew a Mr. Penis.
Well, like I said, originally he said it was supposed to be a knife being held at his throat because that's how he felt at the time by the UFC, by the WWE and the NFL, that he was in a tough spot and he had to make a choice to walk away.
Shouldn't it have been sideways?
So someone shoved a dick in his face and said choose. Well, I'm wondering, like, when he
I
told
could see McMahon doing that.
he told he told the tattoo artist, like, I want a K-bar on my chest, like it's being held to my throat, and the guy's like, okay, no problem. He draws a K-bar on some paper like this, and Brock Lesnar's like, no, round the tip, give it a mushroom top. That's not really a knife anymore.
And I
dude.
want brass knuckles to look somewhat like testicles
Yeah.
at the bottom.
It's not really looking like a knife anymore, though, bro. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
You
is.
tell me not?
So here we go down to UFC 168 going down in Las Vegas tomorrow night. Of course, the showtime is 7 o'clock, and apparently there's a press conference at 6 if you want to watch that. Prelims are going down at 5, though?
Yeah.
And there's 2 internet fights, right?
2 internet fights.
So we got
and
2
then,
internet
Fox
fights. We got the
Sports one.
prelims at 5,
Fox
but they had a
Sports
press conference at 6.
Yep.
And I'm thinking the Vulcan that's one of the internet fights. I think that's going to be a good fight. If anybody, I would tune in for that.
Let's see, where's it? Down here at the bottom?
Oh, the
Bobby
Bobby
Voelker?
Voelker?
Yep.
All right, so are we going to start at the top or you want to start at the bottom?
No, we usually start at the bottom.
Okay, well, we'll get to
Why
the
did
odds
you
when we
even
get to the
ask?
fights.
Why do you even ask?
We'll go. All right. So the first fight going down online, YouTube or Facebook, you can see Esteban Payan going against Robbie Peralta. Payan is 14-4. Peralta is 16-4.
And Peralta's still going to come in high. 6-month marijuana suspension. He's going to test positive again.
Yep.
So even if he gets the win, he's going to get it taken away from him for get a no contest.
And Payan was recently just left blood all over the canvas after his fight with Jeremy Stevens. That was his last thing I ever seen him do. It was his first fight in the UFC, and he just bled everywhere. He got beat for 3 rounds.
So you got Peralta
Yeah, I'll be taking Peralta.
until we get the no contest ruling from the THC?
Yeah.
Okay. Bobby Voelker, which is the one that Dennis wants to watch with William Macario.
Yeah, I'm so excited because he hasn't won a fight since 2011. I'm excited for him to fight.
He likes to bomb.
He does like to bomb. I think it's going to be whoever lands first in both these fights. Morocco, first 6 wins by stoppage. So he has six wins. First 5 were in the first round. All of them by stoppage.
Yeah, and they're almost, I think they're 10 or 12 years apart, too.
Yeah.
What about the 6th fight?
No. It was all by stoppage, 5 in the first round.
I see. Got it.
Yeah.
So he stops fights, but he's 0-1 in the UFC.
Yes.
But he had to fight. Who did he fight last?
I don't remember.
All right, then. Good to know.
He was online.
That's on Facebook, so check that one out before the fights. Prelims begin at 5.
Jumped ahead, sorry.
So what time does that start? Like 4:30?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have, I don't know how this fight isn't a little higher up on the card. Some of these fights I don't understand not being on main card or being so low. This is going to be your first fight on Fox Sports 1. This is Sahara Badazahara going up against John Howard.
It's Doomsday, right?
Yes. Doomsday. We know he likes to stand, but he's also willing to do takedowns. Like I said, the stat there, 3.16 takedowns every 15 minutes. It's quite a bit.
It's not bad.
It's at least one around. Badazahara is known for his headhunting skills. I mean, this guy knocks people out. Heavy hands. But he definitely needs better wrestling. I mean, he got mauled by Dong Young Kim, who just basically held him down for 3 rounds.
Yeah, but John Howard, he can get the takedown, but what does he do with it? That could be an issue here. But if he disrupts the striking of
I think,
of
like I
CR,
said, if he can survive the first couple, first onslaughts, I think it'll be all right. Badazahara, former Shuto champion, half of his wins are by KO or knockout.
And John Howard's got a pretty good chin too, right?
Decent chin, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm still taking Badazahara in this fight, though.
I don't know, man. I think if John Howard goes for the takedowns, then it's gonna win in the eyes of the judges. I'm not going to say that it's going to be a hands down victory for him. I mean, it could be a split decision too, for all I know. But we've seen what takedowns do in fights. Even if someone like John Howard, who doesn't do a lot with his takedowns, still gives you control of the round.
Correct. So we got Dennis Siver, who is 21-8, going up against Manny Gambarian, 13-7. Dennis Siver, obviously, both these guys, first of all, really short and compact. So I think this is actually an interesting fight. Neither one of them. Most of these guys go up against guys that are a lot taller than they are. I think Dennis Siver, he's a 6-time post-fight bonus winner. He's recently dropped 155, looked good in his last 2 at 145. Really good kickboxer. I definitely think he's going to be more crafty on the feet and be able to take out Gambarian.
I think Gambarian loses by dislocating his shoulder again, going in for a takedown.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be able to out-muscle Siver.
He's really slowed. Yeah, he's slowed down since he came into the UFC.
Yeah.
I'd take Siver in this fight all day.
All right.
Yeah.
We got
Tabo.
Gleason Tabo, 28-9, going up against Michael Johnson, who was 13-8. This is your go up and get a drink fight. I think it's going to be boring. This is a refill fight.
And that's your tip to the fight from Dodge.
I mean, Tibau leads the UFC with career takedowns. He's got 71 takedowns in his career in the UFC. But all he is, he's known to be a grinder. Definitely.
And he's big for this
he's
class.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. But he's known to be a grinder, and he has good top game. Johnson was on the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, he looked amazing in that beginning. And then he just, when he actually got to the UFC, did not pan out so well. He's been kind of up and down all over the place. But he looked good against J-Lau, his last fight, Lawson.
Right.
He needs to be able to do that.
I don't think that's going to help him too much.
Move in and out. I just think Tabau's going to grind him out like he does everybody.
Well, as long as they're on their feet, Tabau's going to be chasing him, and then if he gets a hold of him, he's going to put him on the ground.
Yeah, I don't see it any other way. I think, like I said, I just think it can be kind of a boring fight.
All right, so
main event: Uriah Hall on the prelims. 7-4 going against Chris Lieben is 22-10.
Loser go home fight.
Loser go home for it fight. I mean, definitely. Lieben has lost his last 4 or 5. He's been on suspension to painkillers. I think this could be the end of Lieben's career. This could be his last fight.
If he loses, it's his last fight. But Uriah Hall has to show up to fight.
Yeah, and Dana says this, and now Uriah Hall has admitted this on record. He says, "I don't have the killer instinct. I know how to go in and pick guys apart. I have all the skills. I have power. I just don't have killer instinct."
But he did in the Tough House.
No,
obviously, somebody
freaked out and went and said he was sorry about all the guys he knocked out. Remember? And he was
right.
like,
See, they made him angry.
I'm sorry.
They tapped into that. Somebody has to piss him off before every fight.
I think Hall is like one of the best opponents on paper. I mean, he definitely has all of these skills to be a really, really good fighter.
Absolutely.
But like everybody says, he just doesn't have that instinct, man. He does not rush in there.
And
look at his fight against John Howard. They're hugging each other. They're high-fiving the whole time.
Yeah, when the Tough House started, everybody was in love with Hall, right?
Oh, everyone was scared of him. Yeah.
He had that knockout hurt around the world.
Yeah.
But see, he's fighting a white dude, so he probably won't hold back.
Oh,
he fought a white dude when he KO'd the dude with the kick.
God.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're taking Hall, you're taking Lieben.
But
Lieben loves the brawl.
My problem here, I think that Lieben obviously has the killer instinct. I think that Lieben has a really good chance at winning this fight because of that. My problem here is that Lieben gets overconfident, and if he goes in when he shouldn't, and Hall catches him
with a counter,
then it's lights out for Lieben.
Yeah,
we haven't seen Hall get knocked out, but we've seen Lieben in a lot of trouble many times.
Yeah,
I know. I think Hall's worried about leaving, so I think he's going to fight a little bit harder.
I'm not worried about. Well, I don't think that Hall's going to fight any harder than he has been. I don't think he's going to fight any better or any harder than we've seen him fight. But that's my concern for this: is Lieben going in for a shot, overconfident, and gets caught with something, and loses the fight that way. But I'm rooting for Lieben in this fight.
So first fight on the main card. This could be fight of the night, in my opinion. Dustin Poirier, 14-3, going up against Diego Brando, who is 18-8. Both these guys, especially in the first round, it's just going to be fireworks. They both love to throw kicks, knees, punches, spinning, everything. Like both these guys really put on a good show. I mean, we saw Poirier going up against Eric Koch and the Korean Zombie and putting on fight of the night, round of the years, like hardcore. He's got really good stand-up submissions, and Brando always comes into blitzkrieg guys.
It could be over quick.
Constantly comes forward, although he does tend to fade in the later rounds. Now, he looked a little bit better in his last fight, training with Jackson's. They kind of slowed him down a little bit. He ended up losing that fight to decision, so I think he might come in again, blitzkrieg style.
Well, these guys are 145. They're built to go quick.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to agree with Don Frye on this one. Go with Brando.
Yeah, go with Brando as well.
Yeah.
So then we got Jim Miller, who's 22-4, going up against Fabricio Camoes, who's 14-7-1. Really not much to say about Camoes, in my opinion. I mean, you might know him for when he fought back in 1997, his second ever MMA fight. He fought Anderson Silva. Took him to decision, 25 minutes, and lost due to exhaustion.
That's the year I graduated.
He is known for his ground game, although he didn't show much of it when he had Melvin Gillard on his back. He had Melvin Gillard mounted and couldn't finish him. You have Melvin Gillard on his back who has no ground game whatsoever, and you can't finish the fight when you're a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
You should hang it up.
You should hang it up.
You should hang it up.
Jim Miller, he's going to win this fight. He is all-around tough.
Yeah, great striker, great ground game.
Yeah.
You know, he's shown us what he can do in the cage.
An endless pace. Endless.
There's no reason why he shouldn't win this fight.
And I don't think there's any way Camoes can do what Pat Healy did, which was, outwork Jim Miller and kind of make this tough fight. Plus, I don't think Camoes is going to come in high, so there's no way he's going to win. I mean, that's how Pat Healy did it. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Josh Barnett and Travis Brown.
This is gonna be a good fight, man. 33-6. Josh Barnett going up against Travis Brown, who's 15-1-1.
6-1-1 in the UFC. Barnett 5-1 in the UFC. People just like to see Barnett fight. This is a great end of the year card, honestly.
Oh yeah. Travis Brown. I think if he wins, he could be up for a title shot. I really do. I mean, with he defeated the Reem, defeated Gonzaga in devastating fashion on both. We know he's durable, and we saw him take the best that Overeem could give him, and then turn around and catch him against the cage, catch him with roundhouse kicks.
Or is he gonna have to fight JDS?
Is Brown in the top 10? Because Barnett's 5 or 6, right?
Yeah, Barnett is I think 5, and Brown is 6.
6.
You think that Barnett gets a title shot if he wins this?
I think, and he's saying he wants Verdum. Verdum apparently has the next title shot. Although they're saying, no, you need to fight somebody. They're trying to get Verdun to fight somebody because instead of waiting for Cain Velasquez to come off of surgery.
Well, then let him fight JDS.
I think he should fight the winner of this fight, and then that person fights.
Well, that makes more sense than Junior Dos Santos.
Yeah, Junior Dos Santos needs another.
I'm worried about Junior Dos Santos being one of those guys who's in the division and just stops people's rise to.
Is he Uriah Faber?
Yeah, exactly.
It's called spoilers.
Yeah, just
gatekeeper.
Just ruins it for everybody. Trying to get up to the top, and then there's JDS.
I think JDS needs to fight somebody around 8 or 9.
Keep climbing to success.
You know what I mean? Ranked guys. I think Verdum should fight the winner of this fight. Barnett's crafty veteran. We know he has great takedowns, suffocating top control, amazing submissions. He's got that catch wrestling base, and then we saw that he was willing to strike when he fought Frank Mir.
Yeah.
So Brown is definitely tough. I think Brown has a chance. I'm still going to be going for Barnett in this fight.
I'll take Barnett in this fight, too.
I think Brown has a chance if he stays quick on his feet and is able to land some heavy shots.
As much as I don't like those old Pride fighters, I'll take Barnett.
He's an old UFC fighter. Does that make you feel better?
No.
I think with Brown on this, I think he needs, like I said, to stay light on his feet. And I think this is Barnett's toughest test since Daniel Cormier.
Absolutely. It's going to be a difficult fight for him. But I think his experience is definitely going to come into play too. But then again, so will his age, which could be an issue. Oh, I guess I was wrong. How did they move this fight?
What's that?
The Ronda Rousey fight.
To the no.
I thought for some reason they moved.
Ronda Rousey 7-0.
Who did they move to the Super Bowl card then?
Jones, I thought.
I don't know.
That's where I was getting confused earlier. I thought you were trying to say whoever won out of this fight was going to fight.
No, I was confused. I thought they moved this fight to the Super Bowl card.
No, this fight's going down.
So I'm an idiot.
The prop bets say, or basically the bets say that Ronda you can get her as low as negative 650.
Holy crap!
And Miesha Tate as high as 565.
I bet $100 on that.
Yeah,
win 565. Yeah, I'd do that.
So that's
I had $100.
That's the high and low. Obviously, you got to figure out where you want to place your bets at. So let's break down the fight. You have Miesha Tate and Ronda Rousey.
I mean, we've already seen this fight.
We know what's going to happen. We know she's obviously known for her armbar.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, I mean, if you look, I don't think she's necessarily a one-trick pony because after 7 times, you think somebody would figure out her one trick.
But the thing, it's all she's going for. She's like, she's...
But how many different ways does she set that up? It's not like
It's
it's
a
the
billion
same.
different
It's not
ways.
the same armbar.
No,
it's always a different armbar. And
you're
I think
absolutely
because of
correct.
her strength and her athleticism and a technique to that one thing, that's why she's so successful about it.
The problem is with Ronda Rousey is that she's only looking for that armbar. That's all she wants to
Yeah,
do.
she's very quick.
Whereas someone else like Miesha Tate, she's looking, I'm going to change up the game. I'm going to go for a takedown here. I'm going to go for some striking here. I'm going to mix up. I'll throw a kick. Ronda Rousey's just armbar.
Well, yeah,
armbar.
she is. She's very quick to get the clinch. Where she uses once she's in the clinch, it's all about
And you
judo,
can't get her
getting
off.
into the
Yeah, you
ground,
can't get her off if you
and
once she's
tossing
on you.
down.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw
She's a stage 5 clinger when it comes to the clinch, dude. Just saying.
we saw Carmouche be able to take her back from
Like
the
trying to
clinch,
get peanut
which
butter
was-
at a shag carpet.
was pretty good. But then once Rousey realized she was on her back, she was able to quickly transition out of it. I mean, there was a struggle there for a little while.
Yeah.
Got the neck, face crank. She was able to transition out, get the takedown, and she landed some good ground and pound, in my opinion. She had her trapped there for a while,
Yeah.
inside control. And I think that Ronda is going to try to strike with Miesha, just because about how much trash Miesha was talking about her stand-up.
For a little bit.
For a little bit, until
little
she's
bit.
ready to take her out. And Miesha Tate, in my opinion, did not look good with her win over Julie Kedzie, and she did not look good when she lost to Kat Zingano. She's a good wrestler with a striking, decent striking base, but she's even in her exchanges, they're wild. She doesn't have crisp technical boxing, in my opinion. She just throws.
Yeah, but like Rousey said, she has a nice ass.
Yeah.
So
She uses her striking to set up takedowns. I still think Ronda Rousey's going to hit her a couple times in the face and then break her arm.
I think Miesha Tate's got her work cut out for her.
Yeah.
If I had to bet, I would guess I would bet on Ronda Rousey, but I'm still rooting for Miesha Tate.
Still rooting for Miesha Tate?
Yep.
All right.
Main event.
Chris Weidman, your champion, 10-0, undefeated, going against Anderson Silva, who's 33-5.
16-1 in the UFC. 16. Think about that. 16-1 in the
Yeah.
UFC.
When did they start calling Weidman the All-American?
That was his name for a long time.
Has it?
Yeah, it's always been his nickname. Pros pick, the first time this fight went down, it was 16-10 Anderson. Now it's only 14-10 or 14-12. So you got some converted, 2 converted. Still, Anderson Silva going in as the favorite. Now, this makes the champ the underdog. This is not the first time this has happened. Obviously, BJ Penn Edgar.
Yeah.
Edgar was still, when they had the rematch, was still the underdog in that fight. And when Shogun fought John Jones was actually the underdog in that fight.
Oh, wow.
Shogun was the underdog in that fight when he took the belt from Shogun. You can get Silva as low as -157 and Weidman as high as 160. Obviously, not as big of a difference compared to the Ronda Tate fight.
No. You're looking at almost like a 1,000-point swing with that fight. That's insane.
So, break it down. What do you think? Anderson Silva?
I think Anderson Silva is going to come back just like he did after his almost loss to Chael Sonnen. Came back a lot quicker and a lot more aggressive and really took it to Chael Sonnen. I think the same thing's going to happen with Weidman. Honestly, you watch the tape. I'm not saying Weidman didn't do a good job. He did do a good job.
Yeah, for those saying that he got a lucky punch, they didn't watch the whole fight. Because
Right.
that whole first round, he was winning.
He did-
He won the first round.
Yeah, he did a
He got the
fantastic job.
takedown. He was going for submissions. He was outstriking Silva. He has never been taken down in his career. I mean,
I think it's the same thing with Chael Sonnen. He was he kicked the shit out of Anderson
Yeah.
Silva for 3 rounds and he got submitted. You know what I mean?
There's the blueprint. We know what the blueprint is. If you get into trouble with Anderson, you get him to the ground, you ground and pound him. You control him on the ground with top control. I mean, and
but then he always finds a way to submit you if you do that.
I think Chris Weidman's jiu-jitsu is way better than Chael Sonnen's.
I think
And
what
that's
happened with this
where
fight,
I think he can save himself from being trapped from Anderson Silva.
it's entirely possible. But I still think the punch that he got, he threw his punch, his left punch, and Anderson Silva was doing his little dance thing like,
Yeah.
oh, you missed me. But what he failed to realize is that Weidman's hand was still there.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely he doubled up his jab,
Yeah.
which he backed up, and then when he backed up and started to move forward, there came the hook.
Yeah.
He didn't realize there was more coming.
Yeah, exactly. And that was something that nobody else has been able to pull off. It's a
Right.
smart move by Weidman. Very smart.
Very
move.
smart. I mean, and Silva is known for baiting his opponents by disrespecting him, putting his hands down, telling them to hit him, especially when they're overmatched. If they're really good at something, Anderson wants you to play that game. He will bait you to punching him, and then when you overextend, he knocks you out.
Yep.
I mean, that's just what he did the same thing to Bonner. Come on, kick me against the fence. Go for it. Come on. He's baiting him to do it, and then what's he do? He moves and hits him in the face.
I like how Bonner, is it Bonner that said it was his fault that Anderson Silva lost to Weidman?
Yeah.
Because he thought it was just another goofy white dork.
I think guys are starting to figure out Anderson Silva. I mean, he's still an amazing striker, has really good boxing and Muay Thai. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. We definitely need to see him work on his wrestling. But I don't know, man. What did we say in the first fight? That I thought out of everybody Anderson Silva's fought, Chris Weidman has the skills to do it. He's a better wrestler.
And he did it.
He's a better wrestler than Chael. He has heavier hands than most of the guys. He doesn't have as heavy hands and quick as hands as Vitor, but with the wrestling, he can close the distance. Mm-hmm. I still picked Anderson to win, but I said Weidman I thought had the best chance, and he proved it.
So what do you think this side? Are you one of the converted pros?
I think he could. Yeah, I think he could shock the world again and hold on to his title.
Hold on to his title. I'm going with Silva on this one. I think Silva comes back aggressive, angry, wants his belt back.
I definitely see that too. I mean, it's kind of a hard choice to pick. Dennis,
I'm going Silva.
Silva.
Yeah.
I say Silva. I'm gonna go Weidman because I hate Silva.
So the room is split. It's 3-2. Wait, I can't count. Yeah, wait.
No,
3-3. Wait, what? 4-2.
Only two of us.
How many people are in here? I'm getting sick, man. Leave me alone. So there you go. That's it. That wraps it up. So we're picking. The room's picking Silva, but Weidman, of course, is your champion, and that's UFC 168 going down tomorrow night.
I'm taking Weidman. Not the whole room, sir. Just you and your side.
I don't like you right now, man. So that wraps up a Split Decision. Thanks for listening. Of course, check us out on Fight Fans Radio Network. Get us on Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and their iTunes. The official website for us is SplitDecisionMMA.com. Go to our Facebook and watch that Don Frye video. It's fantastic. It's absolutely beautiful. And a big thanks to KOA for all their help that they've given us over the last couple of episodes. This is the official KOA Studios and Split Decision signing off one more time. And have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.
And have a happy new year.
That's right.